We're live.
Oh, we're doing a show?
Yeah, we're doing a show.
Oh, dude, how come I sound weird? There we go.
What was weird?
Nothing. Just my brain.
How, how come I sound weird?
I did. I sounded a little weird for a second.
Building materials. So it looks like, despite all the concerns about higher inflation, that consumers are out there spending now.
The Commerce Department says much of the gain reflected the fact that shoppers are also paying higher prices. Stocks finishing higher on Wall
We'll be back.
Investors reviewed solid earnings reports from key retailers and that encouraging update on consumer spending. The Dow was up 56 points. The NASDAQ ahead 120 today. More on these stories at townhall.com. Do you know how much
Okay, we back.
Was I covering my mouth when I was talking? Like this?
You
was
did
some
it. You did
007
initially.
shit? Yeah.
Well, you did initially. People can read lips,
Hello,
dude.
man. Hello. Dude, I hate phones. You,
Phones get in the way, dude.
you, Lisa, and my mom are really the only people
Just deal with on the phone.
I don't talk on them. I don't really
I don't like them either.
messages. Like you'll text me and I'm like, damn it. He's gonna get pissed if I don't respond back. Son of a
I'll just
bitch.
come over. I'll just call
You
him
will.
and come over. All right.
Dude, I just got here.
Yeah.
Because I'm a warrior. That's why. Been a crazy day in
Hey,
traffic.
Thomas Becker, thanks for the welcome back, and we'll talk about that here.
Traffic was insane, bro.
It always is. 1 minute.
Dude, don't stress me out. Yeah, it took me an hour and a half to get here.
Oh,
Wait. No, it didn't. It took
Hour,
me just
yeah.
a little
Yeah.
over an hour.
Yeah. That's not bad. It's just crazy driving in the traffic.
It's 26 miles, bro.
I know.
What do you mean that ain't bad?
It's not bad. I used to come from downtown Dallas. Take me almost 2 hours to get
I'll
home
quit.
certain days.
I would quit.
All right, here we go. It's going to be a great show. Here we go.
Call now to get approved in minutes and ensure your final resting place is more than just a pauper's grave in a potter's field.
800-562-2407. 800-562-2407. 800-562-2407. That's 800-562-2407. Paid for by Final Expense Direct.
Journey into the matrix of the mind. Stretch your imagination and challenge reality. Abnormal realities are beacons for the imagination. What society deems abnormal may be more real than we think. This is Abnormal Realities with your hosts, Ron Phillips and Rocky Stucci.
Yeah, I'm going to say abnormal is probably an understatement, but I will welcome abnormal as it makes me feel normal on this Wednesday afternoon of the broadcast. Folks, welcome to the program. I literally just sat in this chair about 10 minutes ago.
That's a fact.
That's what we do, brother.
That is a fact. Dude walks in. I hand him his coffee. Yes, I had his coffee ready.
They did. Check it out.
That's because he's important. When you're as important as him, you just get their shit ready for him.
Man, been a long day, bro.
Talent, man. You can't do anything with him.
You did yell at me a little bit, though.
I didn't yell at you.
You told me I was all over the board the other day on that stream.
Well, you were kind of all over the place, but that's okay. You got your point across. People got all
I just can't remember what it was.
hot. Yeah, I know.
Give me some on that, bro. No. Damn it, I couldn't leave you hanging. I wanted to so bad, but I didn't. Let me fix my
Wisconsin Jack Cole says still sending prayers for your family, Rocky.
Thank you, Wisconsin Jack Hole. I was going to say Bambi Beaver, but it is Bambi Jesus. Thank you, Bambi Jesus. Appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys. I'll take the floor for a minute. Might as well just get this shit
You
off
take
my
the
chest.
floor first, and then I'll give an update on my meeting last night, and then we'll go on.
What meeting? Oh.
It was. There's a story. There is a story, but yours is more important. So
Well,
let's get the update.
I was, I mean, I couldn't wait to text you last night and just
Yes.
be like, so how's the butthole, bro?
Yes,
That's
you
exact
did.
words.
Yep.
Exact
It
words.
was.
So, okay, so I'll just get this off here. And I won't take a lot of time talking about it. If anybody you saw the stream that I did the other day, everybody knows about Mama Stucci. I first and foremost, thank you everybody for the prayers and the love And I got a ton of messages, and I see them. I don't ever take offense if I don't have these long-winded conversations. But I do see them, and I thank you tremendously, and it means the world to me. And there's something about life, right? There's something about these situations that we deal with. And like I said in that stream, I don't need these kinds of situations for me to take into perspective what I have. I don't need it. I got a very tiny circle. The people that I love and call family. I even told Ron the other day, I said, dude, I kind of love you, bro. And he says, well, I kind of love you back.
I love you back.
Yep. But see, I said, I love you. And he said, I love ya. The you and ya.
I have said I love you, dude. I have said that. It's always probably been preceded or followed up with comma brother, but
yeah, please always follow up with comma brother.
I'm reading it into the phone.
I'm starting to do that, by the way.
Are you using the
I'm trying to
dictation?
Yeah, that's why I got a hold of you today. That's why I said mother effer instead of mother effa.
Oh yeah, effer and okay. All right, yeah. That was a whole conversation too.
That was it.
Yeah.
Okay. So first, just a quick update on Mama Stucci. Her oxygen is in the 70s, lower 70s. Every time they take her off, it seems to drop a little bit. They got her going on a whole bunch of different treatments.
She went into the hospital with her oxygen
50%.
At near 50%.
Yeah,
folks,
near 50%.
That is not good.
Yeah. Anything
Anything below 85 is really not good, and 80s is not good.
Yep.
So it's a tough place to be.
Yeah, when you have to walk 15 feet to the bathroom and you can't catch your breath, it's just like us walking up and down the stairs of death.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Every day.
So she finally ate a first meal yesterday. She lost, how much did I say she lost? 30 pounds?
You said she lost quite a bit. I
Yeah.
don't remember what the
A
amount was,
significant amount. Because,
and that's since we were there,
Yep.
folks. This was, 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Yep. And the sickness really kicked in about a week and a half ago. And she hasn't eaten since. So she just had her first meal yesterday and it stayed down. So that's a good sign. She has a lot of lung issues. They gave her this treatment so it's breaking down. I'm on an inhaler, and sometimes when I take the inhaler, it kind of breaks down the phlegm in my lungs.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's kind of what that effect is, and that's why she has a lot of coughing. And it says, Ma, keep coughing. Just keep coughing. Cough it out, cough it up. Do that one thing where you got to blow that ball up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason people do that, and that's you're exercising your lungs. But there's it's weird, though, because even though we don't take for granted what we have, and I know sure as hell you don't, brother, and we've had a lot of long-winded conversations about, the precious things in our life, right?
Yeah.
And, but I go back, and the other night I was sitting outside and back, and I just can't sleep because, the second your eyes open up, you think about it, you check your phone. My biggest fear is that word, what you asked me if they put her on,
Mm-hmm.
the vent. And it's that my biggest fear is I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night and look at my phone. My dad is at home. He won't let my sisters come over, which I don't blame him.
Rocky, let me say this real quick for those people listening and watching. You guys, most of our audience in the evenings knows where Rocky and I come from a radio standpoint. One of the networks that we're on, or a couple of the networks that we're on, are specifically political networks. So we are familiar with all the conversation about COVID, what we agree with, what we don't agree with. And quite honestly, we're not going to get into that tonight. It's just that there are some things that we wanted to have take place. And so that's kind of what he's referring to when he kind of leans into the conversation and then pulls back out. But the bottom line is, most of you already know where we stand because, like, for instance, you hear me in the mornings kind of giving my opinion on opinion radio in the morning show, and Rocky's had his show before. So just be aware that that's where we're at. If you don't listen to us outside of this show, that's fine too. We're just not going to talk politics
ever
of the coronavirus. That's it.
You know, and the thing too is that the politics of this is not what it's about to me.
It's not. When it gets to this point,
Yep.
politics goes out the window.
I've
dude.
had one person, and I did respond back to the message, try to get into the conspiracy thing and start asking me questions that were not relevant to them. And they probably won't message me again. So,
Just people don't need that.
no.
When you get to the point that you're at right now with your family, you don't need that.
No.
You don't want to hear it. You don't want to talk about it. Let's just get mom better.
You know, and you know, and this is just a quick point I want to bring up is, Ron, you got to know Dad.
I did.
You know, you got to hear some stories of Dad, and you'll continue to hear stories of my dad. And when I first initially talked with my dad, the ambulance was there, and he was gathering his stuff up. He was going to the hospital, and he got outside, and the guy from the ambulance, he just says, "You're not going." My dad's like, "What do you mean? I'm not going. It's my wife, 50-some years." And he says, "It's policy. It just can't." So, 15 minutes later, my dad calls me back, and I was in a meeting, and I stepped out, and that's a phone call I will take for a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And he was literally in tears in a way that I've never heard my dad before. I've heard my dad like when I left.
Yep. Yeah. That's different though.
Right.
That was not the helpless feeling he had when he was talking to you the other day.
This was fear in
Yeah.
his voice.
Yeah.
He was frightened. This was, we have our issues in relationships. We have our situations in relationships. My grandma and Grandpa Stucci, they fought every day from morning until night, but they could not live without one another, period.
Yep.
Right. And so everybody has their way of showing their love and emotion, and we all have our behavioral issues. And to see that just like that one time I did that walk for my dad, when I seen him at that campfire and his feet were all messed up and he couldn't walk, that was the first time I saw my dad broken physically. And so that night is when I couldn't sleep. Lisa went to bed, the boys went to bed, and I just went out back and I just sat down in the chair, and the stars were beautiful that night. They were everywhere. And, and I started thinking about my situation, and I think, I've been with Lisa for over 2 decades. I've been with Lisa for 23 years. 23 years. 3 beautiful boys, and they all committed to moving down here with me. And, and I'm sitting back, I'm like, Jesus, God, without that, who would I be today? Where would I be today? The whole bouts I went through with the drug addictions and the other stuff that I did. And to have this unconditional support and this unconditional love that at times we take for granted. And I'm guilty as shit as that. We take it for granted. And it just really made me just sit back and be so damn grateful of what I have and the risks that my family was willing to take with me. Coming down here was a gamble, brother. It's a big thing,
Yeah.
right? And I could not be more blessed. And it kind of given me this fire to. We have a busy schedule, you know what I'm saying? And she's not ever complained about this schedule because she loves you, she loves me. I think she loves us both. And but that's that unconditional support, and I need, in a weird, sick way, there was a lot of things that came out of this situation is it was grounding.
Yeah.
And that's the most important. And folks, listen to me. I know everybody that's here, we're all here for a reason. We've all struggled through things in life, and whether it be addiction, relationship issues, some kind of abuse. But you're not here if you're really normal, and I say that respectfully. You're here because you're in a different journey in life, or you're in search for something just like we are. You're trying to understand things like we are. And don't ever hesitate for any given second, just to sit back and to just reflect. And I kind of get mad at myself sometimes because I get caught up in the forward motion, and I'm not the best person in the world. I'm a sinner like a son of a bitch. But at the end of the day, dude, we are so damn blessed. For one, your family here is amazing. Every time I walk in here, who's the first 3 people I see is your beautiful family.
Yep.
What did Bonnie do when she saw me today? She came up and gave Brother Meatball. I think we almost started making out. I don't know. I felt like we was getting close. Then I go home and I'm just like, there's Rocky and he's working hard, and Mario and Dominic getting through high school, and there's Lisa trying to get things established, and it's just like, it ain't all that bad.
It's not. When you look at it, you can have a rough day. You can have, crap falling apart all around you. but when you stop and look, it's really not that bad.
It's not that, we're all guilty of one thing, is that we always want more.
Yeah, I agree.
You're damn right, dude. We don't do this so enough would just be enough. We do this because we have a vision. And we do this because you and I both are men of flaws. You and I both have felt on our faces multiple times. But what separates us from that, from the rest of the world, is that we gotten back up, and we continue to move forward, brother, and we continue to fight.
You could have said we got the F back up.
It wouldn't have felt right. It wouldn't have felt completed. And so my family, I love you, everybody up north. I know some of you are watching or listening right now, and, fight the fight for me. And I'm a phone call away. We have a contingency plan. I'm ready to get on a plane at any given time. And my family here, Lisa, the boys, man, I could not be, nor would I be the man I am today without you and your love, and you guys complete me. And of course, Ron and his family. Lisa was talking about you guys the other day with my dad, and she said the truest statement I've ever heard about Ron Phillips and your family.
Are you about to make me cry?
I don't know.
Okay.
Ron Phillips is the type of guy that he has no motive behind his friendship. In our industry, there's a lot of motive.
Seriously.
And it's the industry of what can you do for me? And if you can't do anything for me, I'm going to continue to move on. But Ron Phillips, Misty, Bonnie, Kate, all of you, I'll just say Ron Phillips on this one. You need anything as a friend, Ron Phillips will give you the shirt off his back and not have one expectation of anything coming back. He is a genuine human being. He's packed full of empathy. He is packed full of fault. But he finds those faults and he uses those faults to build character. And you could not find a more loyal person. You could not find a more trustworthy friend. And it's very hard to find people that are willing to do whatever it takes to help you out and not ever expect anything in return. And I could not be more blessed as be sitting here next to this son of a bitch right here today. And he is one of the main reasons I'm here. And so it's going to be some taking over the world shit time coming up here real soon.
Well, listen, I agree. And we weren't supposed to get mushy on the show tonight, but hey, what the hell? The thing is when you have expectations of people, or let me put it this way, when you've had expectations of people in the past and they just don't come to fruition, you just learn to handle it. You learn to deal with it. And that's the thing. Rocky and I have worked together for almost 5 years now, right? 2016
feels like 20, but
yeah. So we're going on, 6 years. But when Don Newen introduced us via phone call back on one of the other radio stations I had, Rocky and I became instant friends, and he's been down here and been in my home before, moving down here several times. Yep. And Rocky's family has always treated me like family. And I expected that same thing when I went up to visit his mom and dad, and I was, surprised by just how much they treated me like family. Cause it was like they'd known me in my entire life. So I hurt when his mom goes to the hospital. I hurt for his dad because he's at home and not with his wife. And I just, and you watch people go through that this last year, especially with families, with their elderly family members in nursing homes and then go into the hospital. And I watched a video today of a guy who couldn't even be in the room when his wife was giving birth. And it just hurts. It hurts to see that kind of suffering. Yep. But, Rocky and I we don't always see eye to eye, but we at least communicate about it. And that's the respect that he has for me and I have in return for him. So thank you for the kind words, my friend.
I'll just say on a final note, then we'll move on and talk about your butthole. That felt really good to say actually just now.
I don't even want to talk about my butthole now.
It's kind of a crazy world, but there are some things worth fighting for, right? So at the end of the day, anybody ever infringes upon the Phillips family, I always ask, hey, man, everything okay? Anybody give me a hard time?
He knows people. That's what I hear. I know people.
Or my family. we work hard for what we have and we love what we have, and I expect any man or woman to do the same, but infringe upon that, and you'd be safer in the mountains of Afghanistan. That's all I'm saying.
And before we move off of the topic, let's just say this. Rocky and I both love you guys.
Kind of.
And we thank you for the kind words, checking in on us. Most people know how to get to me either via email, Ron at abnormalrealities.com, or on Messenger, or on Facebook, or however. And we got a lot of feedback, a lot of people reaching out to us, finding out how we were.
Yep.
And we understand that, there's a little bit of concern when we're not on the air one night and we've given you either no notice or little notice. Monday was a crazy night. It was a crazy day after all the stuff going on. And then, of course, we knew that Tuesday night I was going to be out. So
yeah, so tell us.
it was not what it ended up being.
Yeah, it disappointed me. It concerned me a little bit.
Why did it concern you,
because, I need you to get checked up to make sure that the poop hole is good.
I got checked out. They already did the procedure. That happened on the 30th of October. This was a follow-up appointment. That's all it was. But I had a little bit of a problem with the follow-up appointment.
What's that problem, Ron Phillips?
They wanted me to pay for it, and I told them no. It was look, I paid for the procedure. If this was your follow-up appointment that you set with me prior to the procedure, what were we going to talk about that you didn't already talk to me about at the conclusion of the procedure that day?
And they might have wanted to check the stretchage.
There's no stretchage.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
I heard a little squeak when you were walking the other day.
And
Sometimes when people have a squeak in their tennis shoe?
No, that's not that squeak. I have a squeak in my tennis shoe. I did. I sat down. I came to the appointment. I didn't know what it was for, other than the follow-up. I don't think I expected to pay, though. And so she called me to the counter to pay my copay. And I said, what am I paying for? Oh, this follow-up appointment. I said, why am I paying for a follow-up appointment? I've already paid for the procedure. Does this not include the follow-up appointment? You guys set this appointment for me. I didn't.
Damn.
Well, no, sir. It's just for the doctor to talk to you about the procedure. I said, he talked to me about it already.
At $250?
He spent the same 10 minutes with me after the procedure, telling me what he didn't find, which was good.
Yeah.
Is there anything else he needs to tell me? Well, no, sir. And I said, so you're about to have me pay a copay to sit in here and hear him talk about the same thing we talked about already once? No, thank you.
I didn't ask this question after your procedure.
So I didn't pay and I didn't have the appointment.
And you walked out.
And I did. I walked out.
Hell yeah, you did.
It was dumb.
Yeah, you did. Did you guys, after the procedure, I did not ask this and I apologize. Pretty rude of me, actually. Did you guys maybe spoon?
Or no. No,
Maybe
and
a
I
hug?
barely remember him coming in, but Misty, thank God, is there. So she could hear what was going on. And I remember enough to know that I was A-okay. So I wasn't 5 years ago per se, but I am this time. And there was really nothing he needed to talk to me about. He thought I wanted a consult on something else. I'm like, no, I didn't ask for that.
Really?
I didn't ask for any consult.
So, and so this isn't political. This is conspiratorial. I think the dental industry and I think the medical industry has become a criminal monopoly that has bankrupted families all around the country.
Come on, dude. Well, look, here's the thing. I used to go once a year for a physical, and
Like
I've got one coming up here in a couple of weeks.
Like
Just an annual fit. Yeah. But
let's do a demonstration right now.
No,
on the
you're
show.
not touching me.
Come here, stand
No, you're not touching me.
Come here,
I don't want you to
I'm
cup
Dr.
nothing.
Rocky.
No.
Dude, I'll do it to myself first. Look at that. I'm good.
Did they move?
Actually, you got to go past them, and you got to kind of push
We're
where
not
the
doing that
venene would be.
because you'll like to slip a finger, and I don't want that either.
Dude, that's a lot of distance.
No, that's a
going
lot
back
of
around
distance,
the
but
edge.
you're not doing that. But I go in every year for a physical. It's just what I do. But now, for some reason, the last couple of years, they need me to come back for a follow-up appointment at the 6-month point. Nothing changed. Nothing was worse. Nothing was bad. I am on meds, just most people are. But I did not, I'm like, why am I coming back in here and paying another copay for you to look at me?
What is
So
your
what I
copay?
make them do, it's, and for specialists, it's $50. I think for just my regular doctor is $25. Pretty good insurance. Just a copay. But anyhow, so what I ask them to do now every 6 months, since they have me there, is just run all my blood labs again. So yeah, if I'm going to pay for something, I'm going to pay for something.
So what about the dental industry? What's your take on that?
I don't.
So they want $40,000.
That's crazy to replace all your teeth.
To fix my mouth. The highest one was
Yeah.
$55,000. And so now you have people going to Mexico literally to save at least 50 to 60% on the procedure. And they're at a beautiful resort on a sandy beach.
That's true, but you have no leverage if something goes wrong. I get that. I understand that. And that's the chance you take. And a lot of people do it. But I agree with you. If it didn't cost an arm and a leg to get your teeth fixed,
Dude,
it's just nuts.
it's ridiculous. Dude, when they first told me for the first place I went to, they wanted $55,000.
That's abnormal.
That's why we're talking about it. That's why we're talking.
Yeah, and I have all new teeth in the top.
Yeah.
I say new teeth. I got them in 2009, but I haven't any trouble with them, and they're all fantastic. I've got some I need to have replaced, as evident by the way why I smile. Maybe cover my mouth when I do, but the bottom line is it's too damn expensive. It's just too expensive.
Yeah,
So-
it's rough. Hey, folks, don't forget, visit the website. Hey, Petey, how you doing? How's your...
Oh, you haven't touched Petey since we've been on the air.
Let's make up for that right now. Hold on. Petey, hold on, check. Am I good? All right. Get your ornament
Oh,
by
my
going
God.
to abnormalrealities.com. And do not forget, ARTV is now hot on the website. Just go to abnormalrealities.com and click the ARTV tab. And that's where you're also going to get special streams that we cannot do on social media platforms. The streams
We haven't started doing those yet, but we will.
but we're getting close.
Yeah,
And
we'll get to
maybe the whole ghost hunt thing is going to be...
Oh, good point.
You know
Rocky,
what I'm saying?
Stucci.
Thank you very much, Ron Phillips.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Damn it. Dude, that felt good hearing you say that. But make sure, just do this. If you're hearing my voice, just go to abnormalrealities.com. Sign up. We do not spam. So when we ask you to sign up, we're not sending emails every day. But when we do have events coming up and things that we're going to live stream specifically on that website, that is going to be the way we reach out to you. Go to abnormalrealities.com, sign up for our emailing list, and with that being said, Ron Phillips, take us home!
Oh my God, we're not going home yet.
Oh.
We're just going into a break. Abnormalrealities.com/shop. Get out there and get your abnormal PD ornament. We'll be back in 2 minutes, folks. At Romika Designs, we're more than just a laser engraving and specialty design company. Much more. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs, and if you can dream it, we can probably make it. We can custom laser cut and engrave on nearly all material. Great for one-of-a-kind gifts, home decor, business and specialty items, or personalized and logo designs created just for you or your company. Allow us to become your go-to gift and specialty project partner. Romika Designs can help make your ideas a reality. We're ready to help you design and create that special gift for any occasion or engrave your personal or business logo on just about any product. View our designs at romikadesigns.com or simply email us with your ideas. We specialize in custom design and would be honored to have the opportunity to discuss it with you. Call us at 817-400-4040, email info@romikadesigns.com, or visit us on the web at romikadesigns.com.
Abnormal Realities.
So December 12th, kids. December 12th.
Time's closing in, folks.
It's on. So Brad Staggs, he did agree today that he will be doing the challenges. Now, two of us have confirmed the challenges.
That's probably all it's going to confirm.
That's BS.
Beth said, I am not even going upstairs. Did you read that article? I'm not even going
Oh,
upstairs.
yeah, she is going upstairs.
Brad's
now.
like, set me in the attic, man. I just want something to happen. Ballsy Brad. I said, you read the article where professional investigators and ghost hunters won't even go back in that house because it's so freaky, right? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I don't care. Just show me something.
Oh.
This is going to be fun.
Tell Beth, if you're listening,
She's not going
you are
upstairs.
going upstairs. I will rescue. I know CPR. Do not worry.
But you're going upstairs because Rod's doing it too.
No, he's not.
Abnormal Realities
And we're going to have it
I'm pretty
live.
sure I know him well enough to know he's not doing it.
with Ron and Rocky. 8 p.m. Eastern, Mojo 50.
Will you please do it for the fans? You don't love them.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Abnormal Realities. My name is Ron Phillips. That is Rocci Stucci.
Yo, how you doing?
How you doing? Welcome back. Sorry for the
Dude, I thought it was
lengthy
good.
first segment. I mean, it was kind of a...
That's real life.
It was real life. I mean, and that's kind of what we do here. Some nights it's real life. Some nights it's not so real. It's just more abnormal. Like last Friday freaking night. God, we lost our shit Friday night, did we not?
What do we do?
Freaky Friday.
What are we talking about again?
You don't remember what we talked about last Friday night?
Mm-mm. Remind me.
Well, let's just say it was our PG-13 show.
Oh, that's right. My favorite kind of shows.
Oh man, I let that run on the weekends.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, got some really good feedback on that. I said had to go apologize to my mother-in-law who does watch the show.
That's
Hi, Bonnie.
right.
I said sorry, we got a little raunchy, a little risque. She says, "Yeah, you did."
She did.
I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Well, I don't know about you, but Friday night after we were done, we went down the stairs of death. Bonnie was down there. She gave me a big hug. She said, "Outstanding job, son."
Oh, she did?
I was like, "Thank you, baby."
Well, I didn't get that, but I know that's what she means.
Oh, probably. Oh, baby, let me be a loving teddy bear.
Are we talking about anything tonight?
Maybe.
Besides this.
I do have some articles up. Is there anything else you wanted to cover? I thought there was something you wanted to throw out. December 12th, folks, is literally right around the corner. We are talking just a little over 3 weeks. We will be streaming, like we just said before we went on to break. We are going to be at the Haunted Hill House.
Correct.
The roster is full. Lisa,
Oh, it is.
Lisa's going to go. Yep.
What?
Yeah, she's going to go.
Because Bonnie and Misty are going.
Yeah,
Is she going though? Really?
she's going
Okay. Why then was she not going to go?
because she dialed in.
Okay. See, that's the thing that worries me the most.
That's why I should
Is
have
she
never
got
even
dialed
said
in?
shit.
She got dialed in
Yep.
and then decided that wasn't a good place for her or me. And now she's going
She yelled at
to
me.
protect me.
Probably, to tell you the truth. I didn't even think about that shit.
Yeah.
You can always tell because she goes like this.
Oh, she's
I'm like,
dialing
what are you
in.
doing? What are you doing? She goes, so why are you bringing Ron to this place for his first time? I'm like, what are you talking about?
I often ask myself that question too.
Yep. I says, he wants an experience, baby. He wants an experience. Now come here and cuddle that
I
ass
can't
right
even
up
come
to
up
me.
here in the dark
Yeah,
the mornings.
you can.
in the mornings and look out across my game room because it's dark. I keep my eyes closed or
Over there?
reverted. Yeah.
I don't either.
I
It's
just,
that chair. I don't like it.
it's weird, is it
They
not?
got an antique chair and somebody is sitting in it.
Yeah, we haven't had it very long. I think my wife got it from a garage sale or
You know what's
something.
really funny is that you never started getting freaked out until that chair got put up in there.
That's not true.
That
I
is
got
very
freaked out.
true.
I got freaked out the day we started doing this damn show.
Are you serious?
And you brought that spirit box in here. Started talking to people.
How's the light doing up there?
It's fine. It trickled on me this morning.
It's son of a bitch.
It did. It twiggled on me this morning, but I just need to change the bulb. I think it's just a bad bulb. Although we got told I don't have any bad spirits in the house. That's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah, it was believable.
Yeah. That's not even funny, dude. Not
Okay,
even.
I got a question for you.
All right.
So, I follow like these 3,000 different ghost groups, paranormal groups, afterlife groups, and most of them are irrelevant
Okay.
because they post stupid shit or they go political or whatever it may be, and there's no really good thought-provoking subjects, but every once in a while you get lucky. And I seen this lady post, her husband died like 6 months ago.
Okay.
And she said, and because the reason I'm bringing this up was because I believe it was Friday night when we talked about the pajamas in that farmhouse that I was at.
Yes.
She said that his shampoo is still in the shower, his razor is still in the shower, his toothbrush is still in the bathroom, his clothes are still in the closet, as if he's still living his everyday life. Now, here's
How
my
long ago did he die?
6 months.
Okay.
So here's my question to the viewers. I'll read some comments in the chat room, but Ron, I am directing this question to you, and this is going to be tough because Mama's probably listening.
Okay.
When is that time? to where you get the razor and get rid of it. You get the toothbrush and get rid of it. You get the clothes in the closet and you empty it out. When is that time? And this is, I just got done talking about how precious my family is to me.
Here's
and how
the
precious
thing.
Lisa is to me.
Not everything falls into the same category. The stuff in the shower probably go pretty quick. The closet with the clothes, no.
The shoes, their
Nope.
favorite shoes.
That stuff's all staying in there for as long as I can keep it in there. It is, honestly.
Why?
Because
Why,
because the stuff in the shower to me
Yep.
is not personal to me.
But what about the soap that they rubbed on their body and they still have skin cells on that
I'm
soap?
using it every day too, so I don't care.
You guys share soap?
Yeah.
Lisa won't use my soap.
Really?
Yeah. She
Has
says-
it got little stuff on it?
She says, because you use it to clean your butthole. I ain't putting it
No,
on my
it's,
face.
well, no, but again, now she's got razors and shampoo and all this other crap in there. But no, I mean, for me, that's less personal than the pillowcase she slept on, or her clothes in the
You
closet.
can still smell it.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any of it would be difficult to get rid of, and now I'm talking out my ass because fortunately I'm not in a position to have to make that call right now.
But I
so
understand.
maybe if I were in that position to have to make that call, it'd be different.
Because
so
every garment has a memory.
every garment has a memory.
Every
I
shoe,
agree.
like Lisa, she has like 30 pair of shoes. And it's just like, I would look at a pair of shoes and I'm like, I remember when we were here and she was wearing these, or I remember those shoes and what we were doing there.
Yeah.
Right? And it's the memories always stick with you in your heart, right? But sometimes those physical reminders are what you want because that's your cue. That's what you look at to get that reminder.
And that's what we're seeing with some of the people here is that it's the physical reminders. So, eyeglasses laying on a desk is a physical reminder, right?
Is there anything that you would get rid of Misty's that she would be pissed and come back and haunt you?
Yeah, her dogs. No, no. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, but then again, I'm not in that position to have to make that call. Right. So I'm going more from the material aspect of things, right? Yep. If it has, some emotional attachment to me, I don't think I'd ever get rid of it.
I don't think I could.
Yeah.
That was, I read that question and it was just like, that was deep. First your heart breaks for that woman.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just like, oh, that poor little thing, right? But then I start thinking about me. It's just like, oh, I don't know. There would be this overwhelming guilt, like I was abandoning. You know what I mean? Like I was walking away, and I don't know, brother. I mean, that's tough. So when my grandma Stucci died, my grandpa was so incredibly lost, and he found, we call it a girlfriend, call it whatever you want, right? To me, and if I'm going to look at it rationally and not mad at grandpa because he was with grandma for 50 some years and like he's with another woman and everybody freaked the hell out on him. That's his life. And that's what kept him alive. And he wasn't looking for a relationship. He was looking for companionship.
Yeah.
And so he decided to move to Florida. Why did he decide to move to Florida? I think we talked about this, whether we were driving or out somewhere. And because when you grow up in a city your entire life, everywhere you go, every building you see, every restaurant you drive by, you have a memory there with that person. And if your heart weighs that much on missing that person, you're always stuck.
You got to get away. Yeah.
And that's what he did.
If it's holding you down and it weighs that much, you've got to get away from it.
So when he decided to move, of course, everybody got mad at him. And then he wanted to get rid of all of his stuff. He just wanted to move to Florida with a couple bags and just start fresh, right? And everybody was appalled that he just said, come over and take everything you want. And everybody was mad because they wanted him to be locked in on that material item instead of saying, you know what, this is probably going to keep you alive for 5-6 more years. So, you know what, let's get rid of this stuff for you. Now, mind you, it's easy for me to sit here and have this kind of opinion.
But when you're put in that position, it's a completely different
ballgame. It changes everything, man. It's easy to talk about it. It's easy to talk about it. But I think I'm with you, Brother Phillips. I think that it would be very difficult. I mean, my boys would have to do it behind my back when I was gone, and then I would still probably fight them when I got home.
Yeah.
Was that me or you?
That was you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was your computer.
So,
But no, I mean, look, we're getting some decent feedback. Some people say that they've tattooed the remembrances on their body.
Yep.
Uh,
Would you get a tattoo with a little bit of the ashes in the tattoo?
there are a lot of things that people are doing with ashes, but it depends, whether that person was cremated or not. So you only get that if they're cremated.
Are you getting cremated?
I don't know yet, but I'm leaning that direction.
So why don't people get cremated? Because is it a religious thing?
Probably. Yeah, probably. But I don't know the answer to that. I think for honestly, for it, I don't know if it's less expensive, less of a burden.
There is that.
Because if you're cremated, then your ashes can go home with the family, as opposed to, or they can go, interred somewhere else, or they could be spread somewhere, right?
They could be spread
So there's a
somewhere.
lot of options versus putting someone in the ground in a vault in a casket. Not that that's wrong either. I don't
So you
know.
haven't made a decision.
I have not made a decision.
How
My
about the
family
other
and I
one?
haven't talked about it.
Did anybody else in this house have a decision? So when Lisa asked me, she goes, "Do you want to be cremated? Do you want to be buried?" I'm like, why don't you just make that decision? Because I'm going first anyways. So I said, why don't you make that decision when that time
Jeez.
comes, right?
Yeah.
And she goes, well, why don't you just make the decision? Because two things.
Yeah.
I don't want to become worm food and become this rotten corpse on the ground.
You
right?
won't know it.
I don't care.
Yeah, you won't know it.
And number two is I don't want to know that I'm being burnt to a crisp.
You won't know that either.
Can't you be a little bit more supportive?
I can be, and I'm trying to help you.
You're not helping me.
Understand that being worm food or being burnt to ashes, you're not going to know it.
But that's not the point. This is a temple.
No, who will it affect more than you?
I want Lisa to get me stuffed.
Okay.
They got those puppies now where you can get them stuffed.
Nope.
They take everything out,
Nope.
and then you can mold them, and they can just sit there on a pillow.
Nope.
So
No,
I want you
that's
to
not
get me
happening.
stuffed, and I want to be in this chair while you do a show, and I just want to be like this.
Weekend at Rocky's. No, we're not doing Weekend at Bernie's doing a show. And no, if you're going to be sitting in that chair, your eyes are open, looking at the screen. They're just like that. I'm not doing it. Then again, I mean, at some point now, here's what I have done. I have written my own autobiography.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so I got this idea from my dad. I didn't know he was doing it, but when my dad passed away, he wrote, it was about a 30-page autobiography that he had been writing for a few months before he had to go in for heart surgery, and he just didn't make it out. But the bottom line is it inspired me to write mine. And so there are stories of my life that my children don't even know. There are portions of my life that I'm sure Misty and I've talked about, but I want my 14th great grandchild to be able to go, who was my great, 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 so on and so forth, grandfather, I mean, look, if I were to try to look back on my, third great grandfather right now, I don't know anything about him.
Right.
At all. So if I can document something, and in today's day and age, you get digital documentation, it can be stored however long you want it. But if I were to document that and then somebody needed something, they could go back and read it and find out. Or some of the lessons that I learned through life that I taught in my autobiography to my great grandkids. Right?
It's a good point though, because so there's my grandpa Stucci, and then his father was Pio Stucci, Pio, and then Giulio. We can only go back to the boat that they came here on.
That's as far back as you can go
with them.
Yeah.
We can follow the Frozos, and we found a bunch of Stucci's in Calabria, but we just don't know anything beyond that. So, doing what you did is solidifying history, right? But now you have stuff to add. You got to put our chapter in that.
I do. I go in there periodically and do an update.
You want some pictures or?
No, I got them.
Sure.
Yeah.
I got a couple really good ones.
No, I'm not going to put any of your pictures in my autobiography.
Why?
Because I've got pictures of you that I put in there.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Oh, you put my picture in your autobiography.
I did. So for generations to come, they will know who Rocky Stucci is.
They'll be like, who's that sexy son of a bitch? Freaking great grandpa was hanging out with.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
That's interesting. I should do that.
Because when I feel I'm having a bad day, my dad and I weren't super close, but I loved him and he loved me. and I respected him and he respected me.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
We weren't in an argument, and we weren't really estranged. We just that's the way that family has been all my life. His side of the family, but I didn't see my dad, for months and years, sometimes at a time. Then we'd talk, we'd get back together, and we'd do things. But sometimes when I just feel like it, I'll pull out his autobiography and I'll read it again.
Jamie Christopher said that I'm donating whatever they need, and the rest will be cremated and turned into a tree. Now, I thought about that.
Yeah, because you can make rings now, diamonds out of ashes. You seen that?
Yeah. And
I want somebody to shoot my ashes out to outer space.
See, that's kind of cool.
Yep.
So my problem with the tree thing is, you get your ashes put in this bag, and then they put a seed of a tree in this bag, and then they bury it, and then the tree grows. And
Okay.
my problem is that if this is all part of the reincarnation process, and that seed is there, and that's the first thing that your soul clings to, man, you could be screwed for the next 400 or 500 years as a tree.
Not sure how that works.
Hey, Ron, where you at? Come and cut me down.
Mm-hmm. Not sure
but
it works like that.
But it could.
It could. But think of all of the stuff you'd see as the tree.
I don't know if I want to.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying, dude? I don't know if I want to. I'll be part of the global warming problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah, interesting stuff. Jamie says she wants to be buried in the woods. Well, Jamie, do you want to be a tree or do you want to be buried in the woods?
Jamie says I chose my tree, and it's and ready. LOL. I don't know.
I chose my tree and it's in ready. Oh, I heard those kind of trees. The and ready tree.
The and ready trees. Yeah.
Yes, it's okay. All right. Are you going to donate your organs?
I am an organ donor. Yes.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you? I didn't check that box.
Yep. I am an organ donor. So there's two ways to do it in the state of Texas. One, you can do it on your driver's license, or two, there is an organ donor capability now in the iPhone when you go into the health app.
Oh, iPhones.
Yeah, you can choose to be an organ donor through there as well.
So I was thinking about maybe just cutting a couple organs out now and just
Selling
them.
I could use the money.
Dude, $50,000 right now for an extra kidney.
Are you kidding me right now?
50,000. You got scissors? We can make 50 grand
No,
right now.
dude. I don't have a bathtub full of ice either.
Yeah, $50,000 you get for your kidney.
Nope.
Oh, Rocky will make a great pole barn someday. Why would I want to be a pole barn?
Yeah, that's true. Jamie Christopher says it's a ginkgo tree.
A ginkgo tree. What is that?
Gingko. Ginkgo?
I got to look to see what it looks like now.
I don't know. That's what she says, ginkgo.
Gin.
Have you seen the ginkgo tree? Beautiful. That will be me, she says.
There it is right there. Let's see what this thing looks like.
Thomas Becker says there are cemeteries upstate where burial plots are caged in.
Yeah.
Why?
Is that?
For people stealing bodies?
Oh, that's a problem in
grave
Egypt.
diggers?
Yeah, that's a problem in Egypt. But there are grave diggers where they steal the jewelry, wedding rings.
Everybody who goes into a pyramid is a grave digger. Do you disagree with my statement?
Not a lot. One time.
Not a lot.
Not a lot. One time when John and Maria, before they got Gebel El dig site, and John shared the story one time, so I can publicly say it. So they were independent, and they traveled around the Middle East and Africa, and they were hired independently to go find a rock and research it or whatever it may be.
Right.
So they found this hole in the ground, and it was a cave. It was super straight down. It was super deep. And, of course, John, doing what John does, get him a rope, right? So he started climbing down. He made it about 30 feet. And when he was going down the hole, there was a spot there that was like a horizontal where you can go into. And when he got to this spot, he flashed his flashlight in there, and there was a mummy right inside that hole.
No kidding.
There was a mummy, and it was fully dressed. And when I say fully dressed, meaning that it had jewelry on. It had gold. And so, of course, in a situation like that, you got to halt. And then you have to get, I believe it's the Department of Antiquities involved. And, they got to document everything, the location. And so what they did was they kind of quarantined off that hole. And they went for the night. They came back the next day. And guess what? Everything was gone off that mummy. But the mummy was still there.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
So he documented it, or he called and notified them.
Yes, he called and notified
and
them.
those people came and stole the shit off the
I'm
mummy.
not saying that's who did it. All I'm saying is that it's a small group of people that knew about it.
What?
It's
the
really
hell?
crooked. You saw what I showed you that picture the other day of that little statue thingy?
Yes.
That's like 2,500, 3,000 years old.
And you know where that's at, right?
I know right where that's
Yeah.
at, and I know where it came from.
I want to touch it.
You, what?
The statue.
Oh, so those are
As long as something doesn't jump off on me when I do, I don't want to.
no, we're safe.
You
You're
touched it.
safe. Not a lot. But they used to put in some tombs, they would find 300-400 of those, and each one represented something different to assist in the afterlife.
Okay.
That's all I got.
All of that, and that's all you got.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is wrong with my computer? Here, I'm turning my volume down for this.
Okay.
Ron says, "Okay, please
Yeah,
do that."
no, it's good. It's like a da-dong in my ear. I'm sure everybody else can hear it too. I assume.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, brother. It's pretty wild on, well, dude, so think about this though. A piece of jewelry, pure gold, that's been on a mummy since 4,000 BC. So you're talking something 6,000 years old. You get that on the black market, and you're probably talking $5 to $10 million for that piece.
That one you showed me?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, like real gold.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff like that. I mean, it's not uncommon because they would find those in an area where there's tombs. They'll find them in the sand. They'll find them close to. I mean, there's not a lot of relevance for people to take those. They want the gold.
Yeah.
Pure gold.
So did he ever figure out what was below that chamber?
They went all the way down, and then so that hole must have already existed. And that's the thing. That's not your typical spot for a mummy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a hole in the ground. They go down about 30 feet, horizontal spot. And so you ask the question, why? What was the situation at that time? Was it somebody of relevance that pissed somebody off, that got shunned, but still had some kind of a sacred burial ceremony? And that was really the only spot they could find that they thought would be safe. Just like they found this one room where somebody was doing hieroglyphs. The tools were still in this little room. When I say room, I'm not talking about a studio. I'm talking about a cave. You know what I mean? And there was a little stool there with the tools just laying there. So one day, thousands of years ago, somebody was doing hieroglyphs on a wall, left, and not one human being ever went back in that room for thousands of years. Why?
I love thoughts like that. I love thinking. Remember when I told you, when I always go somewhere, I'll find the most. Let me give you an example. We went to France. I don't know.
You went to France?
Yeah, back in 2000.
I'm judging you.
6 or something like that. And you go to the Eiffel Tower there in Paris, and you're standing there, and you want to find a place because the Eiffel Tower's been there for years, right? You want to find a place on the Eiffel Tower that no human being has ever touched before. But you can't really because that's man-made, right? So you go find another place. And that's me. I mean, I'll be at the Wailing Wall or something and try to find a place that no human has ever touched before and then touch it so that in my mind, I'm the only person ever.
Did you say the Wailing Wall?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of
Is that
anything.
Jerusalem or
Yeah.
Israel?
Yeah. I'm just thinking of places. Just non-man-made places that
Yeah.
What was it that we were at? You and I were doing something.
Was it in Sweet Hollow?
I don't remember, but I remember reaching in behind something and you started laughing at me. What are you doing? I said, I'm trying to find a place that nobody's ever touched before.
First in history.
Yeah.
In millions of years.
I'm weird like that.
It's not really weird.
It is weird.
No, it's not.
No, it's weird, dude.
Kind of.
It's
Not
weird.
too
And
weird.
I'm okay with that. I'm a weird dude. But if I, in my mind, think that nobody else has ever touched that or probably ever will, then I'm good to go.
And I'm the same, but I'm the opposite. I go to an ancient site, or as ancient as I can get to, you touch something, and like think of John again, right? So they find these tombs. They found a tomb underground, full of water. They had to pump it out, and they couldn't get all the water. I think I showed you the picture where they were doing the handoff of a baby. And you touch.
Was he in a sarcophagus or was it just the babies?
No, it was a sarcophagus. It was
Okay.
it was a little tomb, a little, and and they found it in the water. Probably didn't know what it was until they took it out of the water because they couldn't get the water. And right away, I'm thinking of the Star Wars movie where there's that creature under. Was it Star Wars where there's a creature underneath the water, and it was coming up and attacking? Or maybe it was like Friday the 13th
I don't
or
have
something.
a clue.
But that would freak me
Maybe.
out thinking that there was some kind of creature because that tomb that they found hasn't seen light in thousands of years, and all of a sudden they identify it. And then they go into the water. Then that water has been sitting in there for, well, it's next to the Nile River. So it's not like it's stale water. You know what I mean? But still, it's just like trippy. But point being is that you go touch anything in there. And it's just like the last person that touched this had a life, thousands of years ago.
Thousands of years ago.
And then you start thinking, what was their life like? Were they happy? Were they slaves? I mean, what was their emotional state? What was their relationship?
See, that's why things like going to Gettysburg is important to me, because I want to know what it was like living then.
Tom, Star Wars, creepy worm thing in the compactor. That's what exactly. I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Star Wars.
First
episode.
When you look at these ancient sites in Greece, and you can say the Colosseum, I just get burnt out of the Colosseum, just like Area 51. It's just so over talked about. You just kind of like, eh. But there's these Colosseums and these theaters in England that literally date back like 4,000 BC, and they're monstrous.
Yeah.
And, it's just like, you just think, like, we think of like going to a football game or a high school football game, and there's all this life and these young teenagers and these young kids and these parents and all these different emotions and relationships and all these different things. And then you put yourself in a different time where these people literally dressed differently, they thought differently, they practiced differently, they did everything different than what we did. But were they still similar to behavior like we are today? What were their relationships like? What were their love? Pompeii.
Mm-hmm.
You see those people that were
covered in ash immediately died.
And you see some of them holding people they love.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's just like, God, what was their story?
Mary Mansfield, walking in the footsteps of history can be a profound experience. Fact. I agree. And that's my that's why I never really studied history from a college or high school standpoint, but I am a history buff. I like learning about the things that happened back in the day. One of my favorite things to do, and I was doing it today, was watching how people take film from the 1900s, 1920s, restore it, colorize it.
I love that stuff, dude.
Because in my mind, when you're thinking about it, those people saw black and white. Why?
Yep.
Because that's all we ever see, right?
Yep. When I was a kid and I looked at my dad's black and white pictures, I thought my dad grew up in times where it was black and white.
No, I'm with you.
I was like, so Dad, when did the world become color?
When the Wicked Witch of the West, when the house fell on the Wicked Witch.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Hey, that's kind of true. Hey, by the way, and I just want to say this. There's a couple new shows. We only got a few seconds here, but there's a couple new shows on Mojo, and two of these wonderful women are loyal family to us. You have Angry Beaver.
Yep.
And you have Jamie.
Yep.
And you can catch him on Mojo 50 on Saturdays?
Saturdays and Sundays, yeah. Beaver's on Saturday. Jamie's on Sunday. They both have new shows out there, so go check them out.
Get on over to mojo50.com. Check out the stream, but also get on over to Abnormal Realities. RomikaDesigns.com, folks. Get your asses over there. Ron is super busy. They're getting a shit ton of orders. Overwhelm his ass with business. RomikaDesigns.com. Ron Phillips, take us home.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, listening to us talk. We'll be back tomorrow night, so stick around. We love you guys. See you.